Hello and welcome to my Ever Messy Art Studio. My name is Keeks and today we're going to play with my gel plate and we are going to try to do image transfers. I have practiced a bit, so I did the other day do quite a few practices with image transfers and found that my fish magazines are the ones that worked the best. So we're going to try and make some more of these and just have a little bit of fun. Now, not all of them are going to turn out, I can tell you that right now. Because I had about a 40% success rate, but I think I've figured it out. One thing I will say is do not use this paint. This Rich Art paint is not for image transfers. It says it's a premium acrylic paint. It's lying. It's too thin. The one that I was actually having a lot of success with was the Liquid Basics from Liquitex. So I would strongly suggest not using cheap off-brands, just because I had a lot of failure rate with it and it was very annoying. But I have quite a few images from my fish magazine that I was thinking might do pretty good, just because I was noticing a lot of contrast in them. So I thought we could play around, and like I said, some of these are probably not going to turn out, but some of them I'm hoping will, and I think they're going to be really cool if they do turn out. So with that being said, wish me luck. And we will go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down this black Liquitex and I'm going to scoop this up just a little bit. Here we go. I'm going to put a little bit on there, and the idea is to spread it thin, but not off-brand thin. Because like I said, none of them worked with that other paint. So I'm gonna go like that, and I think that should be good enough. And then we're gonna try our first one. And I'm just gonna set it on here. I'm gonna push it down good. And now is where the luck happens. So we just hope and pray that something cool happens. Oh, I see parts of a fish. Yes. Okay, so I can tell that we've at least got one fish, so that's gonna look really cool. As you can see, it just kind of messes up the whole page, so unless you use a different color, like red or something, you're not gonna be able to reuse those papers. So let me just toss that out. Now from here, you can do a couple of things. You do need to let it dry, and then after it's done drying, which you need to let it dry naturally, you can do a couple of things. So I was using paint on paint with mine, but you don't have to do it that way. You can also do it with pan pastels. You can do all kinds of things. I think I want to try a couple of these out before we try a pan pastel one, just because I want to make sure that it's really going to work. So let's just see here. And what I've been doing is I've been really trying to use up all of my, I would say acrylic paints, because I just have a huge problem with a bunch of paints that have been sitting around forever and they're just getting thinner and thinner. And that's not what I want to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple little dabs of paint everywhere. I'm going to do this kind of turquoise color. And I'm going to do some red. And from what I have seen so far, it's okay if this one's a little bit thicker. It hasn't seemed to bother anything as long as that under part is dry. So I'm just going to go like that, and then I'm going to rub off. And you probably can't see the rub off page that much just because this is a very big plate. Whenever I ordered this plate, I accidentally ordered one that was way too big, but I'm not mad about it. It's a cool plate. So I'm just gonna go ahead and smush everything down. and then we're gonna let it dry. So I'm gonna try to smush it down as good as I can. Your hands will get super messy during this. So if you're not somebody who likes texture on your hands, one thing I can suggest to you is you can always wear gloves if you need to. That's always something you can do. While we're waiting for this to dry, I did want to show you some cool stamps that I got. So PM Artist Studio just did like a whole like extravaganza of new stamps and stuff. And I got these, which are perfect for ATCs. So this is the Small Joy, Grace, Love, and Peace from the Stamp Artist Tools as part of the Karen McCoy series. I just want to show you real quick because it's really cool how these look. She was using them on one of her streams the other day. So you've got Joy, Grace, Love, and Peace. And what I liked about these is these are so small that I'm going to use them on ATCs. I think that those are going to be great. So I just wanted to show you guys those because I thought they were really cool. But let's go ahead and try pulling up and see what happens here. Oh, nope, not dry enough yet. So let's rub it down some more. Get it really in there, and as you can see, it's like seeping through a little bit, which is fine. The more it seeps, the better it is. Sometimes what I was doing too is doing a second pull on it. Like if the first pull didn't come up all the way, like for example, I think I put this on too thick. So we're gonna put a second piece of paper down real quick. Just set that down real quick. And let's try doing it again. And hopefully this will pull, because I think I let it dry enough. The first layer, I mean. So we're gonna just try it out and see what happens. Whoop. If you heard a little chime, my jars were clinking together. So let's see if we get any fish on here. Okay, so we got a partial pull on it. Not terrible. You can clearly see the words on it, and I can see where parts of the images of the fish are. But I think maybe I should have let it dry just a little bit more. And this time I'm purposely letting you see errors that I do, because I was trying to film this before without any errors, and it was just impossible for me. But I do see part of a fish in there. I'm gonna try again, and we're gonna see if I can get it thin enough. So let's try again with some black. All right, I've got that down. Roll off. And then I'm going to try, let's do this image. So it looks like this, and we're going to see what happens when I put that on there. And from what I understand, you can't wait too long either, because if you wait too long, it also will not work right. Okay, so I do see something in there, but I'm not sure what it is yet. So let's give that a second to dry. And you do not want to use your heat gun on it, because if you use your heat tool on it, you can melt the whole thing. So you don't want to do that. Ooh, excuse me. So let's see here. Let's try just the red this time. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer, as it could have been that turquoise, now that I think of it, was that cheap brand. So it might not have pulled right because of that. And I think with red, that'll be bright enough to see it. Or we could even do something even brighter, maybe an orange or green, anything like that. Yeah, let's try this orange. So I'm gonna go ahead and plop some on there. It's a thin layer. There we go. Rub it off. And then let me get a piece of paper. And I'm just gonna rub it down. And you wanna literally rub every piece on it. I watched a lot of videos of Devon Rexford, which is Yolande in Canada. And like I said, I have about a half and half success rate, but I try. And if not, at least we'll get some cool pulls anyway. I've got that down. I'm gonna pull it. Ooh, I think this one worked. Yes. All right. So I'm still struggling getting the fish part, but look at how good that looks. That's pretty decent, because we've got plants in there. The only thing we're not really getting is the fish part, but we're getting a lot of words and stuff, so that's pretty good. Let's try another one. So let's try ones that have lots of scales like these and see what happens there. So I'm going to go ahead and put more black down again. I did try Better Home and Garden magazine, which is a magazine I think is for the US. That one did not transfer at all. So I'm not sure if they use a different type of ink or what the problem was. But don't try with Better Homes and Gardens. It will not work. Let's see here. Where'd our fish friends go? Here they are. So I'm gonna lay that down. I'm gonna smush it down. Maybe, not sure on that one. I think it might have, I see a fish right here. I'm not sure that I see anything up here. So we'll see what that ends up doing. I'm just letting it dry for a second. Water for a second, because now that I think about it, I also have a fashion magazine I could try if I can find it. We can also try to pull some people from this magazine and see if that works. So I'm gonna give this fish one more try, and we can try that, and if that doesn't work, we will go back to fish. So let's go ahead and get a color down, and this time I'm gonna go for hot pink. Really smushing it down. Hoping to get the best we can here. All right. And then I'm going to put a piece of paper down. And I'm going to rub. Get it the rub down. All right, I'm gonna let that dry for a second. And while that's drying, let's look through here for a second. Let's see what kind of images we have. We've got lots of prom images. This is very old. This is probably from 2010. Let's see here. Oh, she's cool. That might show pretty cool. Let's try that one. So we'll try her next and see how she works out. All right, let's pull this up. Okay, I do see some transfer happening. So let's see here, we got some fish. This is a fish right here. More words, but not quite right yet. So let's try this lady and see what we can get with her. Let's see. Whoa, that might be too much. We'll see what happens when I spread that. Because it's gotta be thin. I think that's too much. Might need another roll off paper. I'm just gonna shave that down. Because you don't want it to feel slicky. If it feels slicky, we probably got too much. And it is definitely feeling slicky in some areas. So let's try to get some of this off the top here. Let's see what happens here. I'm gonna set her down. I think that was too much. Okay, let's just do the other side then. Not a total fail. It made it thinner, and my hands are gonna turn black because of this, and that's okay. I'm not really worried about it because I can wash acrylic off my hands. I don't know that we got anything off of that. Doesn't look like it. We'll try letting it dry. And then this one I might just do white on white paper without brewing paint, just to see if we can collect anything from it. And then I'm gonna look for a different image to try, because I think what I did is I got it too thick on accident. Let's see here. These striped ones might do. We'll try that. Let's see what we can get from that. I'm gonna pull this up. Yeah, that didn't do anything. See, nothing there. And that happens sometimes. So we're gonna try that magazine one more time, and if it doesn't work, we'll go back to fish. Because I know for a fact the fish work. Because we were getting some with fish. So let's try again. This time it looks like it's nice and thin, which is good. So let's just put these girls down. Okay. And then I'm going to throw this away because it's just mostly black. So that's not really going to be anything pretty for us. And let's pull it up. Oh, I don't think this magazine's going to work for us. Because I don't actually see anything. Except for just paint splotches. So we'll try it on just a white paper and see what happens, but I don't think that's going to pull anything. So that's what I mean by you have to kind of play with it and test out different magazines, because it will not always work. No. See that? That doesn't look anything like those girls. You don't see stripes or anything. So we're not going to use that magazine anymore, so we're just going to waste paper if we do that. And boy, oh boy, will you go through some paper. So we're going to go back to trying fish. And just going to do my little pile that I got here until I ain't got no more pile. Nice and thin, very matte looking. Oops, I need to rub off paper. All right, and this time we're gonna try some loaches who are gonna look at us with reproach. Here's my loaches. I'm just gonna set them down. Down real good and hope for the best. So we're going to peel them up. I see one loach down here. I don't see the other ones. So let's see what happens when we put some color on top of it. And for a second so I can see what colors I've got. Let's do this color here. I don't have much of this one left. Oh, well, I might not have any of that one left, so I guess we'll throw it away. Let's try a different color then. Let's go with a little bit of gold and maybe some blue. Got some gold there, or some blue, sorry. there's a little bit of gold. And then put it in there. Nice and thin. And if I wanted, because I know that top part's not gonna do right because it doesn't look right, I can use some stamps on it. Like maybe we could add some florals up top. So I'm really interested to see if that other loach comes up or not. Here we go. And then I can go ahead and put a piece of paper on it. And push it down. Smooth it out. Here really good because I know that loach is down there. And let's see what happens. Oh, this one did work. Look, there's a fish right here. You can see part of this fish here. And then this one I don't think we would have been able to see. I see a face, but I don't see the rest of the fish. So that one will be really interesting fodder though. So that one worked. All right, let's try another one. Let's see, how many do I have left? I have one left that I wanted to try. So this will be our last one. That's too much paint. It's funny, I'm starting to be able to tell when it's too much. I know, I thought it was going to be too much, maybe not. I'm going to try to rub that off a little bit. It's the top part that's got too much on it. Alright, so let's put these guys down. I picked these guys because they have a lot of scales. And it seemed to be picking up scales rather interestingly. So let's see. Did something. I'm a little bit weary about what the top of that looks like though. So, let's see here. Let's do yellow. That could be interesting. We need to let this dry a little bit though. I think we might be able to at least get this fish down here. Hopefully that's not too much. That yellow is really thin, so I was hoping to put it on a little thicker and see what happened with it. I don't think that black was quite dry yet. That's okay. Might make an interesting texture. All right. Put it down, smooth it out, and see what it gives us. Right. I captured something. So here's a fish down here, and here's a couple fishies up here. They're just very hard to see. Mostly capturing the words. So, oh, there's a little bit of extra here. Let's get some paper and try to pull that up a little bit and see what happens. Okay. Nope. Nothing there. That's all right. So, we did get some interesting pulls at least, though, that would make good collage fodder. Now, the very first one we didn't turn into anything, but we can always just use the paper and collage of some sort. So we've got this first piece of paper that didn't work. And then we got this guy here, which we can kind of see something, just not very well. I'll set that there. That one's mostly dry. Can't remember if we did orange or pink next. The orange one, I think, is the best one because we can actually see a fish in there. Oops, I got it upside down, but our fish is right here. And then we've got this one, which we can see a fish right here. And then we can see two fish on this one. 1, 2. And then our last pull, which is mostly words. But anyway, I wanted to show you what I've been working on and what I've been trying to learn. That way, if you're interested in also learning transfers, maybe we can trade notes. But if you made it this far, thank you so much. If you're a subscriber, I really appreciate you. And if you're someone new, hey, welcome. I'm glad you're here. If you could please like, subscribe, and share my video, I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.